Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. My name is Ibrahim Sani. I am hosting this very interesting show, Agenda AWANI, and of course we're talking about the aerospace industry. Joining us in the studio is Professor Temel Kotil, the President and CEO of Turkish Aerospace Industries. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things, but most notably the Hurjet, which is located right there in front of yourself, good Professor. Let's talk about the kind of offerings and the kind of collaboration that you intend to bring to the table between our two great nations of Turkey and Malaysia, and perhaps some of the ideas that will take place over the next few months. Just a general idea.
Could you allow me to start from the 96?
Oh, please, yeah.
Yeah, on the 1996, I used to be working in the Istanbul Greater Municipality. Our mayor was the today president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, you know. So we have the project traffic control system on the road, you know, and there was the tender between the Siemens, Siemens Germany, Philips Australia, and the Mimos Malaysia, and tender win by the Mimos, because we require the technology transfers. Only Mimos allow us to technology transfers. With using that technology in Istanbul from the 96 on, we built a huge success story, you know. So without the MIMOS, the SCADA system and traffic controller, and with the Malacca company PPK, we cannot achieve that one. So from that on, I know the Malaysia. I follow up to Malaysia. I know the DNAs in technologies. You guys spend billions of dollars to build the infrastructure on the electronics. Alhamdulillah. You are great. You are about 13 or 14% of worldwide export, even larger than US in the electronics. It makes you about 40% of export in my knowledge. So today I want to talk about the electronics and avionics more than this nice boy, which is the Hurjet.
Okay.
But I can talk about Hurjet.
But we still have to talk about that.
Yeah, you ask me.
Yeah, but you put it in front of us, so we really have to talk about that, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
So of course, the possibility of Turkish Aerospace selling Hurjet to Malaysia is still ongoing. I mean, we want to understand a little bit better about the stage of the conversation right now, where we are at, and if it's at the tender process, it's fine. But generally speaking, what will be some of the ideas that you can share with us?
Yeah, it's in the tender process. So talking about the tender itself maybe is not a good idea, but I can talk about what we're offering. We're offering 18. You find 18 pieces of these some nice machines, and 3 of them built in Turkey, if we win the tender, of course. And when we're building the 3, we train the Malaysian engineer and technician, and the later 15 rest will be in Malaysia. So you have a new plan, 2025, that initiative your Prime Minister put on table. And also aerospace is one of the important agenda. On the agenda, there are the pillars there, which is the MRO, all that activities, and build aerospace industry. And we're going to help the Malaysia, without tender, you know, the build the industry. So that 15 coming from that perspective. So God knows what we will end up, but whether or not we win this tender, we are in Malaysia.
So the tender is just for the Hurjet. What about the rest of the offerings that you bring to the table?
Also, there is a tender on the UAV, when that process there also. But as I said, today I don't want to go deep in tender because this is official thing going on. But I want to go the opportunity in Malaysia. What could be your future? In that the vision in the 2025 aerospace. Just I am as an OEM. I want to talk about what is your future, most likely your future. Allah knows, yeah.
Okay, by all means, talk about it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You guys, as I said, it lasts almost 30 years. I love Malaysia. I came here several times. I was a CEO 11 years from 2005 2016. So I put all that service in Malaysia also flight. And work with the Malaysian Airlines or Malaysia Technique and so on. As I said, you spend a lot of effort and money to make a grassroots, the foundation of electronics. You're capable of the build high-end the solid-state chips, which nobody could be maybe build them except a few countries, you know, you can name them. But 13% worldwide export is big enough. It's much bigger in this field than Turkey, let's say. In Turkey, we building this many projects. We building fighter, like this one, light attack, and the Hurkush. I don't have the Hurkush here. That's a 3-week fixed wing. We're building and the attack helicopters for the Turkish forces, and the Philippines also, and Pakistan also. And we're building the larger one. I don't have model here right now. Is Apache size, all indigenous. We're building Gökbey. This is the 12-seaters general purpose. We're building larger one on this one, better than the Black Hawk, most likely. And also we're building the smaller version of between two. That's the 5 program. And we're building UAV, we're building observation satellite, we're building the communication satellite. I have 5,000 engineers. Altogether, I have 12,000 employees in Ankara. I want to have at least 100 here in Malaysia.
So, Prof. Temel, let's talk about the how to get it done in Malaysia, assuming we do intensify our collaboration. Could you share with us some of the clear plans that you have in store for us when it comes to rolling out these kind of workflow in Malaysia?
Yes. Your foundation capability on the electronics. In the memos, even they show us the atoms, that level. You are all the fundamentals, and you have the industry already. So, and the vertical integration, one of them is the avionics, which is combination between the electronics and aerospace industry. What we are trying to bring here is Turkish Aerospace as an industry. Today, we're building the avionics in Turkey. In order to make avionics, you need an OEM on aerospace as a customer. You know, he need to tell you, I need a large area display. This is like a TV, but it's about the 20, 50 times more expensive than the TV, you know. And basically it's a display, touchscreen display, and it's very expensive because it's a high-end. So in order to build that high-end large area display, one piece on the avionics, you need customer like Turkish Aerospace. That's what we are bringing here. We're bringing our needs from all the products. So we decided in order to move fast, there is no partner right now in the avionics to us. In Malaysia, you have everything, but you don't have the company just working this specific area. So we established our company in Malaysia. That's the Turkish Aerospace Berhad, registered in Malaysia. Our facility engineering office is in the Cyberjaya, and we're reaching, already we're hiring engineer and reaching the 100 end of this year, just a couple months. Huh? And that 100 engineer will build the flight control computers for the Hujat first. It's funded from Turkey, of course. So this means really we're establishing ourselves. Why? Because we're seeing the future of Malaysia in avionics will be great, but somebody should come here with the needs, certain project, Hujat. So on the fighter program, this is a 5th generation fighter. I don't know how much you know about it. About 60% of the fighter, modern fighter, 5th generation fighter, is about electronic bases, you know, flight computers, sensor, radars, you know, all that issues, mission computers. And on our long vision, all that products, I number them, you know, the avionics will come from Malaysia. Why? Because it's easier to find the export here than Turkey on this specific field. And it's also cost very, very, you know, reasonable cost here. On this region, ASEAN region, we choose the Malaysia, our base. Why? Because your government initiative on the aerospace industry, your foundation on the electronics, and our business and design. I think this make a good combination. I will just close this question this way. And in order to become successful, you need to align the things. They call alignment in the management. One, the government policy, Malaysian government policy, company policy, and grassroots. You know, the ecosystem feeding them. If they align, this is what we do in Turkish Airlines. My time we grow up 6 times, 600%. If this align, you become successful. That's what we noted in Malaysia. Your government wants success in aerospace, and your grassroots, foundation, all that investment in electronics, and my company design became successful in avionics. I end up this way. I don't know if you follow or not, but the two largest company in avionics is Rockwell Collins and Thales. They have about close to 6,000 engineers working in avionics. Just we target 100 today. You can reach there. You can make to Malaysia and export in avionics. With the similar numbers, takes 10 years, of course, and export from here all around the world.
Some of the companies that you mentioned, including Thales, try to build operations here, try to share some of their expertise with Malaysian engineers. Somehow or other, it didn't come through fruition. What would be some of the key ideas that you have in store for you in order for the Turkish initiative, the great plans that you speak of, is going to be able to not go through the same hurdles that the predecessors did?
We feel ourselves very comfortable. And the Malaysians live in Turkey very comfortably. My people live here very comfortably. We are similar culture. That's one of the key issues for the success. Because I said, I'm assuming like I am moving my headquarters here. I mean, in Turkey, we are in Turkey, we're not moving here. But we're assuming that way. So this means I can operate from here. That's the one that there should be no the social and cultural difficulties. So for working for Malaysian, we used to do it several years. I have my personal experience on it. It's very easy. That's the one. Second one, my company recently put a success story on the table. We're building several products, and larger one is the 5th generation fighter. We can spend that one billions and billions of dollars already. So under electronics, and they give several $1 billion already. Instead of doing in Turkey, if I do it, like the Turkish people, I use the Malaysian like a Turkish people in Turkey. I mean, I'm confident here. I feel like it. Just came here for just one day, and I just heard the boarded, landed yesterday. I'm going back tomorrow. So this, I feel myself good, thanks to those airlines, And that is the second one. We a lot of things to offer to Malaysia because we have a lot of projects. And also, we are integrated with the Malaysian universities already, intellectual capabilities in the Malaysia already. So that could make us successful than compared to others. We're not here to sell something. We're here to stay at this coming 100 years.
Okay. While we can wait for 100 years, we have to go for a break. We'll be right back after these messages. Thanks for staying on with us. This is Agenda AWANI. My name is Ibrahim Sani. Joining us in the studio is Professor Temel Kotil, the President and CEO of Turkish Aerospace. We all know Turkey as a powerhouse in the aerospace industry. And we're not just talking about military as well as cargo or passenger. We're talking about the entire industry per se, end to end. The issue here right now is, of course, when Malaysia, or if Malaysia does collaborate much closer to Turkey, this does close the door for Malaysia to talk to other countries when it comes to this kind of industry as well. That's how the defense industry works. And because of that, there has to be careful consideration in terms of how Malaysia needs to plan and move forward on this. And when we think about all these considerations, job creation, transfer of knowledge, you pointed out that E&E is a big deal in Malaysia. I agree.
Yes.
It is our biggest exporter. We don't know avionics as well as you do. There would be some technology transfer. There's so many things that can be done and so many things that must be done. The question now is, how do we find the investment for it? Do you foresee both countries having to think about how to pump in the necessary funds in order for this to make it work?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, about Turkish Aerospace, we succeed in Malaysia. We don't need that much big monies, you know, because you did it already. You have the electronic industry already. And to make the flight control computers using all that general knowledge, it's just additional one more step. This is a labor-intensive projects. You don't need the sophisticated machine. You need the guys who are sitting and writing the software day and night, you know. So my company already doing in Turkey in the very sizable way. So doing here is not difficult for us. We are after your intellectual people. We open a new vision here. As I said, it's a large area display is a very simple one. It could be have the flight control computers also. If we have the computers, we're controlling the industrial machine. And if this come to the aircraft, difference between them 10 to 100 times in price. But you spend a similar time to do it. What is different between aerospace and the other industries is you do more fine jobs. You need to have my cutting edge basic technology. You have it already. We're not supposed to spend money for it. Actually, we're collecting the strength of Malaysia and put them on the higher level. We're doing in Turkey already. We're buying all that part and pieces all around the world. Instead of buying this all around the world, my company getting from locals. So if we're able to achieve what we are planning, inshallah, we're going to achieve there. We became local Malaysian. And there is already several Turkish people working in Malaysia, you know, different companies, you know. It's a nice community already. So we became one of them. We can be finance this one ourselves in order to have our company a player, worldwide player in avionics. Because of this program, that money coming from the programs, I'm doing already that one.
You were quoted by several media to say that payment can be in various forms, including that of commodity. Is that a way forward as well?
That's totally fine. Our target is to have high brand avionic capabilities in Malaysia. I mean, other issues, the financial part, may be capable. We are a sizable company, you know. Yeah.
Let's talk about timeline.
First, end of this year, we give 100 engineers, make the flight control computers for this one. We have the flight control computers from the other vendors on the Europe. Okay, but we want to make in Malaysian here, and serial production will be here, that we ship from here to Turkey. And that's the first one we want to achieve there. So for the other, the machine we're producing, we built the things here and during this year. And my success story will be 100 engineers working on the Cyberjaya, and they make the avionics and certify it and ship in Turkey. For the certification, you need to use the advanced testing equipment you have already here. Your institute, they have it already. I mean, we're working very closely with your institute already. We're working very closely with the universities, UNICAL, let's say, other universities also. I mean, this is like a heaven for us. Yes.
Right. I also want to understand the interoperability and the sharing of skill if one operates on one particular project to the other. How different or how similar are these kind of technology or skill that one needs to know in order for us to maximize the training capacity program? Okay.
Let's say the flight control, we're talking about flight control. There's a mission controllers. Huh? On the flight control system for this one, you need to make about 3 billion lines, 3 million, sorry, not billion, million, million lines of software. Code. And it's really sizable. Maybe other industries.
I can't even write one line of code, by the way, Prof.
No, I can write, but 3 million is a really good number. You write them 3 million. And this is just manpower. You need to have the hundreds of engineers and sitting and writing. Because we bring in the expert from Turkey who are going to put down the topologies on the algorithm and so on. We have it already, system engineering we have already. So we bring them here. And also this should be tested because, I mean, there is no option that this would fail. So testing is becoming more costly than writing the softwares. And there is certain testing scheme, we know it already. So this means a lot of engineers using on the software side. On the hardware, you have nice companies in Malaysia, use them to design the cards and the hardware for us. I mean, as I said, this is Malaysia is heaven for us in this industry.
Okay, what about the interoperability of the other aircraft?
The computer is computer. If it's the aerospace grade computer, if you have an aerospace grade computer, you know, okay, you can use another one. This is a modular structure.
That's what I'm trying to get at. So
yeah,
it's
this is the pieces, modular pieces.
It's like Lego. You can just take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to have. Also in aerospace, I mean, in the satellite business, we're building the observational communication satellite. On the satellite, one is flying there 14, 15 years, huh? They service that many years. And that electronics inside, they should be very high end. But you have the basic blocks. In order to make the space qualify the electronic product, we cannot do it here.
Zooming out, I know you, part and parcel of Turkish Aerospace, but zooming out, we're talking about radar, we're talking about satellite, we're talking about the interoperability between all the defense services of Malaysia, including that of the armed forces, Royal Malaysian Military, Navy, and then of course we're talking about how we can move this into passenger, the entire ecosystem. Do you feel that this can be further enhanced if we go deeper into this kind of project?
Our intention is actually to trigger this one in Malaysia. And we see the opportunities. We don't want to do it ourselves.
I don't think you can.
I cannot do it.
Yeah. Neither can we.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we said instead of the think about it, let's do it. This is what we are in the cyber jail right now. And with staffing engineer, we're doing the real business there. Hopefully we host you later on there. And so we start.
We'll get you in.
Yeah, thank you.
Again.
Yeah,
eventually.
but we're expecting in the 23, and we find a right partners and suppliers in Malaysia.
Do you think COVID is going to hamper your project deliverables because, cases are high?
No, actually.
Possibility of an MCO, that kind of stuff?
No, actually, about 2 years back, I get sick actually in the COVID.
Oh
I almost died.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. So hopefully I'm believing this is the last, the verdict about this COVID issue. I'm not expecting it to become a problem next year. And hopefully it's become the end of the activities, And, but if you talk about electronics and writing software, that time you don't need to work face-to-face. And
that's right.
Still,
That's right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, there's still a lot more to have a conversation about this, but for now we have to draw this conversation to a close. If you missed any part of this interview, just head on to astro.com, look for Agenda Awani. You can also look for Turkish Aerospace. Also look for Hurjet, that's H-U-R Jet. It's a lot that needs to be covered, and there's a lot of story that we'll be developing from this conversation. So do keep an eye out on all the news on astroawani.com. Till then, thanks very much for watching and goodbye.